Buenos tardes, amigos, amigas, from Ajijic, right here in the Plaza. I met this nice gentleman, Michael, and how did I meet him? He was walking by and I noticed his hat that said Costa Rica, and I was curious about whether he went there or not. He said he was there. You were going on a nature trip there, and he said it was worth it. But we're going to talk about his life here in Ajijic. He's been a resident here for 9 years, and he built a home here. So we're going to talk about a few different things. And go ahead, Michael.
Hi, everybody. I moved here about 8 or 9 years ago. Previously lived in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And I would say we became economic refugees at the time, the way the economy was going, taxes, insurance, everything like that. And my taxi driver, who I used here, said his mother had a piece of property behind his house, and said, "You could build a house there." I said, "Yeah, I could do that." So I did that. It's about a 1,200 square foot, 2-story, 1 bedroom, 2 bath. I got a permit. I thought that was a good thing to do. I hired an architect in Guadalajara who had a regular construction crew, which I thought was the best way to go. They built it in 8 months, which I thought was a miraculously fast, and everything was good. I walk everywhere I go. I don't have a car. I use a cane because it's not like I need it, but it gives me a mental security, because the sidewalks here can be treacherous. They're at different heights in front of different houses. If you decide to walk on the streets, that's also a little different. They say they're cobblestone streets, but it's more like the rocks are like from river bottoms, which, they're smooth, they're rounded, but don't dare go out one that's wet. And I walk everywhere, don't have a car. There's a couple restaurants in my neighborhood. There's an ice cream store across the street.
1 second. Now, we didn't mention you are living in Seis Esquinas, a little neighborhood there, and that's about, 6/10 of a mile from here?
One half mile.
Okay, it's a half a mile, and that's west of the plaza here. And you walk there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I live in a place called Seis Esquinas, which translates as 6 corners. It really has everything I need there. It has a meat market next door, a grocery store, a ice cream store, another small tienda type of place for the little things you need to pick up. It has a cleaning goods place, a couple of vegetable markets. So it's everything you really need. Oh, and I live next door to a pharmacy. Everything you need, and all that stuff is probably within 100 feet of where I live. I use a cleaning person once a week. I'm a single guy, so you know how that goes. And I pay her about 125 pesos an hour.
That's good. That's really good. That comes out how many hours? 4 hours?
For 4 hours, I pay her 500 pesos.
That's excellent.
Whether she's there 4 hours, 3 hours, or 2 hours.
I think that translates to $6 and something an hour. I'd have to do the math, but that's good. That's good.
Yeah, and single guys aren't always the neatest that you could be. From the main plaza, I'm about 6/10 of a mile, which is easy, a little uphill and downhill. If there's anything I can't get where I live, I just come to the main plaza, and there's lots of places. You could go to a different place to eat here every day for a month. There's high-end food, and there's street food. Where I live, there's a couple restaurants, because it's a neighborhood where I call it where the people live, and that's where I wanted to live. I wasn't really interested in living in a closed, gated community with gringos. I mean, moved here to meet the people, and that's what you do. And generally, they're very, very nice. They want to help you. In fact, walking down the street the other day, I fell down, and there must have been 4 or 5 people there in an instant to pick me up. I found a dog, which that's how you usually get pets around here. They find you. I saw a dog on YouTube for some reason, and about 2 days later, the dog was in my yard as a border collie. So I kept her, and she's with me still. She's about 2 years old. And I have a cat, which they sort of get along, but not the greatest. I have a wonderful garden. It's a different type of climate here, so that's something you get used to. Back home, I had greenhouses. Here, not so much. But you know, there's you find out what's available, and you get it. There's lots of nurseries. They specialize in the indigenous types of plants, and I like to collect the offbeat type of stuff. If you ever plant roses, there's a thing here called cutter ants, and they could strip your plant overnight. It's really funny. The airport is only maybe 40 minutes away, and right now they're doing construction because
the roads.
the
the
roads
highways.
are tough. The World Cup's coming here, so they want to make it easy to get from the airport into town. If you go to Guadalajara, they have everything you want. Traffic could be a challenge, but you get used to it. Here in Ajijic, they have restaurants which are top of the line, I gotta tell you. And
that's for sure.
The prices are incredibly low. You could have a large steak for maybe $20, where in the States it would probably cost you $60 to $80. And the people are really nice. Being here as long as I have, I'm not fluent. I'm embarrassed to say that, but when I go out, I learn what I want to say, and I say it when I go, and they appreciate that. It shows that you have respect for their culture, and you want to get along because they like you. There's only one big box store here, which is a Walmart. But I get the necessities, cleaning supplies, and stuff like that, and that's only maybe a couple miles away. And the other fast food place is a Popeyes, which just opened a year ago. So that's about it for the
You
commercial
mentioned,
stuff.
yeah. So you go to Walmart's on occasion. And,
On occasion.
On occasion. And your cost of living here, you have a pet, you have a dog and a cat.
Yes. The cost.
2 pets.
Yes. So the cost of feeding them a month might be a couple $100. There's a place across the street that makes rotisserie chicken every Saturday, Sunday. And
in your neighborhood, right in your neighborhood.
Yeah, around the corner in my neighborhood.
Now, we were talking earlier before this interview about your neighborhood, because I'm very I know the neighborhood very well. I've been there many times. And there's a Michoacana ice cream store. We were talking about there's an 80-year-old Mexican man that works in there.
Yeah, and I think his son works there also. 1 scoop of ice cream is 25 pesos.
That's good.
And that could be a problem when it's right across the street.
Gotta watch your calories, huh?
Oh, yeah. There's there's a liquor store across the street.
Oh, yeah, I know the place, yeah.
There is
wines, they have wines.
seamstress across the street.
Wow.
I mean, everything is within 50 feet.
And there's a bicycle repair shop.
There's
although
also a bicycle
There's a
repair.
kid, he goes and repairs bikes.
Yeah,
And there's some art there too. There's some art around there.
Yeah, there's only a couple restaurants which I go to frequently. They let me bring my dog. The dog sits on the floor. Probably the best hamburgers and onion rings in town.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
It's called Beto's.
Okay.
And what else is there? On Wednesday, there is a Tianguis, which is on Revolucion, almost to town, maybe a mile from here. And they sell, the usual Mexican trinkets. But they also have great fruit, candy, vegetables, just about everything. There's a foot massage place. Avocados are extremely inexpensive, which that's probably going to stop being that in the States very, very soon. And you can get avocados anytime, any day. The food, as I said, can't be beat. I call this the land of carbs.
Okay.
Because it can be difficult to stay away from the authentic Mexican food, which I can't get enough of. I make my own dinners frequently. A single guy's dinner. Not real.
Yeah. Now you mentioned, we're going to talk. I asked you earlier, before this interview, your cost of living, what you think your cost of living is, and you built your home, or you had
Yes.
it built, and you told me you paid how much? It was?
About $65,000 US to
Wow.
build it for about 1,200 square feet,
That's great.
and it's
Probably worth a lot more now.
I'm not concerned about what it's worth.
Okay.
It could probably rent out for much, much more. Rents have been going up here because it's a very popular place for snowbirds and Americans to immigrate to.
But they're going up all over the lakeside area. They are.
Yes,
a
it
little
is
bit. They are.
because of the influx of, I'll call them gringos. See,
All the towns, I'm finding that, even there's certain towns that may not have a lot, but anyway,
yeah,
you're definitely right.
there is really no industry here, so many of the people go to Guadalajara. They take a bus. The cabs here are very inexpensive, and you get to know a couple of guys that you could depend on. The buses are dirt cheap. The medical care is outstanding.
Yeah.
I had my knee replaced
You showed me your knee.
7
Yeah.
or 8 years ago. Perfect.
No, you were saying that you're not blaming it on heat because
Oh,
your
no.
knee was actually bothering you before you moved here.
Absolutely, in Chapel Hill, like 10 years ago in Chapel Hill.
And you got
Yeah.
some great surgery done on your knee.
Fabulous, and the hospitals in Guadalajara are top rate. I was very, very impressed. In fact, one place, I can't remember the name of it, I didn't want to leave because their menu was had pictures in it, and it looked great. What else?
Okay, now what I want to say is, you were mentioning your housekeeper, that you pay your housekeeper to come in 500. You pay her 500 pesos for 4 hours, and I think I calculated that as $6.70 an hour, which is very generous because I pay my housekeepers. I'm also generous with my housekeepers. So your cost of living per month, you gave me kind of
$1,500
round.
to $2,000, and
How much?
$1,500 to $2,000 US
Okay.
a month. But
But
I
that's
don't
because
sp-
you
I
own
don't
a
sp-
home too, so
Yeah,
you don't
I
have
don't
to.
spare myself any luxury. I'm single and old enough to know I deserve it. I'm not going to go without here.
So I want to let the viewers know that your cost of living is, you mentioned $1,500 to $2,000
Right.
per month, but that's because you own a home. if you had to pay
Yeah.
a high cost in rent, say like $700 per month or
Right.
$650, you would be a higher cost of living.
Absolutely.
And if you
And
had to pay a car insurance,
the whole
that
bit.
that would cost you more money too. But you're comfortable walking. You
Yeah.
take taxis. Do you take the buses? Because I used to
I used
love.
to take the buses, but when COVID hit, I stopped taking the buses.
Okay, that's understandable.
There's there's a pharmacy next door. There's a health center across the street.
Right by
Everything-
in your neighborhood,
Yeah.
Stasis Squamous. Yeah, Six Corners. It's well known.
And
It's a well-known area. It's in West Ajijic.
yeah, in West Ajijic. And commerce is moving out to West Ajijic because the rents are lower out there for commercial property.
Where you're at.
Yeah, thought I'd take a taxi to get there. I go to the supermarket. There is a place called Super Lake, which is
Yeah, but that's in San Antonio, Talaya.
yeah. I take a cab there.
Actually, where you are at, there's Poncho's Deli and Restaurant.
Exactly.
Because you're actually close. Because you mentioned
Yeah, there's
Super
another
Lake
Poncho's
Soup.
down
Yeah,
there.
there's because I was at the Poncho's in Riberas del Pilar
Right.
quite a bit,
And
and I
there-
also go. I go quite a bit to Poncho's in West Ajijic.
There's also a place called Ola Market,
Okay.
which is right down the street from Poncho's.
Yeah.
And they carry Costco goods. It might cost a little more. It's not as big.
Okay, so there are a lot of markets here in places you are saying where you can pick up some of the U.S. goods items as well as Mexican items. And I'll tell you, I know Poncho's has the biggest selection.
Yes, they
but
do.
I do like to go, like you mentioned, we were talking earlier about the tiendas, the small stores.
They must be 10 by 10 feet. You know,
The-
chips or inexpensive vegetables, drinks,
The
popcorn,
fruit is over there at the small
fruit,
stores.
and they are almost more than one on almost every block. And
Yeah.
lots of times the people live upstairs from that, so
Yeah, the owners, they live
Yeah,
upstairs
yeah.
or in the back, and
Yeah.
they're friendly people. It's a good sense of community to shop.
it's very mom and pop.
Yeah,
type
that's
of,
what we used to call it, the old mom and pop stores.
Yeah. There's
They're
a,
called tiendas, tienditas, abarrotes.
oh yeah, there are
That's what
also
they're-
ferreterias.
Oh, that's hardware store.
Hardware stores, which I use a
Ferreteria.
lot of, and
See.
that's fun to go to because they're friendly and there's a big variety. There's about 3 or 4 or 5 that I go to.
I think there's some noise in the background. I hope I'm not talking too loud into the mic of the iPhone, but we're gonna cut this video. Any last thoughts? I've really enjoyed meeting you. You're a very pleasant man.
It's
We-
very easy to meet people. It's friendly. You know, everybody likes to exchange information. You know, where do you come from? Where have you been? Which you have a lot of people live here that have traveled extensively.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, all
Which I
over
always
Europe.
like trading stories.
Yeah. Now you were in Costa Rica. Other than Costa Rica, have you been anywhere else?
I've been to Tanzania in Africa. I went there 2 years ago. That was a trip of a lifetime. I had planned that trip since college days, oh so many years ago. Saw every type of animal you wanted to see. And in Costa Rica, you know, I wanted to see one particular animal that I went there. It's called a red-eyed tree frog.
And you saw the red.
And I saw it, and it made my trip. There were colorful parrots. I saw an anteater, lots of different snakes. So it was interesting. If you like green, there's a lot of green there. A lot of hiking. You got to be in pretty good shape because there's lots of walking there. Food is very good. And we traveled maybe 1,200 miles in about 14 days.
Wow, that's quite a bit.
But the bus was fabulous. The people were friendly, as they are on tours. Everybody gets to know everybody else.
So you know the lakeside area, Lake Chapala area really, really well. Kind of well.
I know my area here in the sort of the central Ajijic, Chapala.
You
I don't go
mentioned-
to Jocotepec all that often because I don't have a car. Their cost of living is supposed to be a little less. But Chapala, they have a wonderful Sears-like store.
Yeah, so does Jocotepec. It's
Yeah.
Capel or Capel.
Yes, they have. At,
And then they
in
also
Chapala.
have the electric, it's been a long time, the electric stores there, the big, with the big yellow signs.
Like the
they're
old
part-
Radio
yeah,
Shacks,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, but big,
Uh,
and they have banks in there too. I know the one in Chapel, but I've been to both of them.
I was
And
also
the Capel store, you were talking about the Sears? It's like
well,
Sears.
it's sort of like that. And
The one in Chapala is much, much bigger. The one in Chapala has a lot more. And I've been to both of them, but I love Jocotepec, and you're going to find a lot of towns, some of these other towns, the cost of living is going to be less
Yeah.
than Ajijic. Some of these other
what I
towns,
didn't mention was the cost of electricity, which is
very inexpensive.
you get a bill every 2 months. It might cost you $100 or less US a month for utilities. Water is once a year. Internet is
You're
is,
paying
is
once a
good.
year in your water.
They have fiber optics here. Phone coverage is pretty good. Now, everything has its challenges, of course. It's not always perfect, but you learn to adjust.
Adapt and
And that
adjust.
is,
Yeah.
when I got here, the main thing I noticed, the first thing I noticed, the tension went away from my shoulders. It just felt like, there's no rush. You get it done
right.
when it's done. And that's what's nice about here.
Okay, we're going at 22 minutes. I really like doing this interview. And we had a conversation, Michael and I had probably a 30-minute conversation
Yep.
before we did this video. And I want to say thank you very much, Michael,
My
for
pleasure.
doing this. For those, I was going to say Michael's single, and he has a dog and a cat. And he's very generous when he pays his house help, his maid, and that's very nice. And you're a really nice man, and I was glad I met
Nice
you.
talking with you.
Yeah, we had a great time talking. We talked about a lot of things.
Adios.
Adios, amigos. Gracias.